franchises here, bud.
Oh, hello. Do I sound like Kermit? Do I sound any weirder than the replacement Kermit that when Jim Henson died? Mm? Yep. It's me, Daniel Emery. That wasn't Kermit, believe it or not. All right. I know that these movies create a sense of magic. So when you tuned in just now, you're like, what? They got Kermit on the show? No, just me again. All right, Daniel Ehrenberg. And over there, Logan Adair. And how's it going, Logan?
Actually, Logan couldn't make it, so we have Kermit the Frog. That's the worst impression I think
Oh!
anyone's ever done.
But you did the thing, Kermit the Frog. And
Right.
that's important. That's important. People forget that.
Yeah, I think they do too.
All right. So today we're covering the Muppets Take Manhattan. And they really did. They took it. I mean, that Manhattan belonged
never
to
the
the
same.
Muppets. Well, I mean, I'd argue that they sold it in 1989 to Jason Voorhees, who then took it for himself. But up to this point, for a good 5 years, the Muppets owned Manhattan.
Is it Jason's until Ghostface comes along?
Oh, fuck. He never even made it to Manhattan. Jason
Says
took
you.
Vancouver, all right? I mean, Scream guy. Scream guy takes Vancouver. Dermot Mulroney. Sorry. All right, let's talk about these Muppet movies, right? I've got so much coming your way today.
Really?
So many surprises, so much good stuff.
I can't wait.
Yeah. All right. Muppets Take Manhattan. So this is like a couple of years after the Caper. 3 years, is that right?
I'd say 3 years.
3 years after the Great
Magic
Caper.
window.
All right, yeah. So, they got a working title of the Muppet Movie 3. They're just gonna go straight up Muppet Movie 3. Jim Henson was set to direct again, okay, but he had just co-directed The Dark Crystal with Frank Oz. They did that between Great Muppet Caper and this. And apparently that movie, because he has to create like a whole magical world in there, it burnt him out too much. And he was like, yo, Oz, can you just fucking do this? And he was like, yeah, I guess it's fine.
You ever
All
see
right.
the Never? Wait, what'd you say it was? Dark Crystal or Never Ending Story?
I've seen both of those.
Oh, okay.
All
I've
right.
seen
And
neither,
we'll cover. Well,
I'm a Labyrinth
they're
boy. I always liked Labyrinth.
I love Labyrinth. I agree that Labyrinth is better, but Dark Crystal, it was cool as a kid. It seemed kind of weird. I feel like there were a lot of kids shit in the 80s that you just watched and you're like, "Ooh, this one's weird." And even as a
Yeah.
kid, you knew it was weird.
We don't really go for weird much anymore. That is a
We
thing of
don't.
the 80s.
Kids don't give a shit about weird. You pop like
Looks like TikTok.
Let's get you give him a talking animal dancing to Let's Get Retarded and they're fucking in.
Oh man.
All right. But their franchise is Dark Crystal. They did that Netflix thing, and Never Ending Story has sequels, so we can cover that.
All right.
All right. So they hired Tom Patchett and Jay Tarsus. They both worked on the previous movie, which had like 2 other writing credits in addition, and they map out a script called The Muppets: The Legend Continues. Okay. Frank Oz reads the script. He's like, listen, this shit is jokey. All right. And I understand the Muppets are comedy, but the Great Muppet Caper was probably the jokiest thing they'd ever done before. And that didn't do as well as the first movie. So they were like, let's back off on that. So Frank Oz asks Jim Henson if he could rewrite the entire script. Jim Henson at this point is like, well, you're already directing. Why not? So he does. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It gets made for $8 million and it makes $25.5 million at the box office when it's finally released on July 13th, 1984. Okay. Now, it's not. Here's an interesting thing about it. the company that had put out the first two movies was having like budget problems. Their distributor, okay, so they had to like go out to a company to do this. So they got TriStar. TriStar bought the rights to the Muppet movie so they could distribute it. Okay, and I found this out last night because, like listener James Davis, whose review I just read, um, I went to Disney Plus to watch this because they have the rights to all the Muppet shit, and it wasn't on there. I immediately became furious at Disney and started ranting in my head about modern corporate culture. Okay, because
Right.
that's what I tend to do. Um, and but then I read this, like the reason it's the only thing Disney doesn't have the rights to regarding the Muppets because of this weird situation.
That's fascinating.
I thought so too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. Um, Now, you know how Frank Oz directed this?
Uh, by saying you are gonna go over here, and then you're gonna go over here, and then when we say action, you're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this, and then you're gonna do that. Ready, break.
That was good. It's like a Muppet joke. But do you know that Frank Oz directed this movie?
Yeah, I did know that.
Well, did you know that I have a ranking
A
of
Frank Oz
Frank
films?
Oz directed films?
The
Yes,
Indian in the Cupboard, number one.
that's last place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
All right, I've seen 11 movies directed by Frank Oz.
Okay.
Okay? And here is the ranking. Number 11, The Indian in the Cupboard. All right. Number 9, wait, 11 goes to 10 after that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Number 10, The Stepford Wives with Nicole Kidman. All right.
Okay,
Number 9, Death at a Funeral, which is a British farce, which was later remade with an all black cast.
right.
Number 8, In and Out. I
The
told you
gay
about this
movie.
movie. Yes, the game movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Kevin Kline, or what is it? His former student, Matt Dillon. Yeah,
He
Matt
thinks
Dillon
he's
wins an
gay or something, right?
Oscar. Matt Dillon wins an Oscar, and he says, "I want to thank my gay high school teacher for instilling in me the love of acting or whatever." And then everyone in like the small town where Kevin Kline is like engaged to a woman is like, "What?"
That's hilarious.
Yeah, pretty good.
What's the movie
Number
though? Is he's like coming to terms with like, am I gay?
kind of the movie has some like really dumb shit in it. He like puts on some like gay music in the house and dances around just to see how it feels, that kind of thing.
Like a Nightmare on Elm Street too?
Yeah, I guess
That
so.
happens in that one.
It's a lot like a Nightmare on Elm Street too. Yeah. Number 8. Oh, that's number 8. Number 7 is the Dark Crystal. Number 6, What About Bob
Hmm.
with
I always
Bruce.
heard that was good.
I mean Bill Murray. It is good. He's made some good movies. Number 5, The Score, which Henry fucking loves for some reason.
Well, I'll tell you
Um,
why. Isn't that like a crazy cast?
yeah, it is. It's like De Niro and Ed Norton and Marlon Brando.
Come on, yeah.
Yeah, and Angela Bassett. Um, and number 4, Bowfinger.
Okay.
All right, Eddie Murphy and Steve Martin there. Number 3, The Muppets Take Manhattan. Number 2, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels,
Wow.
starring Muppets Christmas Carol star Michael Caine. And I think his best movie is the one he did right after Muppets Take Manhattan, which utilizes his puppetry powers in addition to his fine filmmaking, and that's Little Shop of Horrors.
You're right. That's a crazy movie. It's one of the most
It
unique
is.
movies ever. Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah. I like
Uh,
Steve Martin as the dentist.
well, as you know, I'm not a Steve Martin fan, as we learned last
Yeah,
week.
yeah. I just like to bring up all his great many hilarious iconic roles every week now. So
Cheaper by the dozen we could cover at one point.
oh my God.
You know what Steve Martin's actually really funny in is Looney
This is
Tunes
your
Back in
issue.
Action.
This is the problem. This is the problem. At a certain point, Steve Martin gave up. Okay. And he was just taking paychecks in kids' movies and shit. So I feel like kids of your generation don't understand Steve Martin's humor because he
Yeah.
was just like some dumb old guy when you were young.
But I saw Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I like him there.
All right. Well, that's a great role.
Yeah. When he cusses
Um,
at the lady. Remember that part? Give me my fucking car, you fucking B
oh,
word.
yeah, I do. He's the B word?
No, she's the B word, of course.
No, I know that, but he said that?
He's like cusses at her a whole bunch, calls her like an F in
Well,
this and F in that and F you and F this and yeah.
all right. This movie came in at number 39 at the box office for the year between Francis Ford Coppola's The Cotton Club and the original A Nightmare on Elm Street. This movie made a tiny bit more money than A Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's amazing. I wouldn't have thought that. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, me neither.
Should we rank the
And
year? 84?
yeah, in a second. And it received two nominations. I just want to bang that out real fast.
Oscars, it's the red carpet, it's the red carpet and the gowns and the tuxes. The Oscars, it's the big night for Hollywood, the red carpet and the golden man.
It was nominated for Best Song Score at the Oscars. That was still a going category, Logan. But it lost deservedly to Purple Rain.
I don't remember the
Okay.
score for this that much.
Song score. Song. Remember, I told you if a
Song
movie had a
score?
bunch of songs back then, it could get nominated for song score.
Yeah, we don't really do that anymore, do we?
No, that's not a thing anymore. But there were more songs in movies back then. Although there are now, maybe best song score. Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
That's what I'd vote for.
I bet you would. You
Lucy
love.
Gray, got to get her
What's
to
your name?
win.
Gypsy Rose.
Lucy Gray Baird.
Lucy Gray.
Come
Right.
on.
Gypsy Rose was a
Lucy
murderer.
Gray.
Lucy Gray Baird. Yeah. Um. So. Oh, the year. Okay, we could do 1984 if you want. Let's do it.
All right, number 10 could be Muppets Take Manhattan, but I left this as Spinal Tap at number 10. So there we go.
Mm.
Number 9, Reckless, that James Foley movie. It's a good movie. Number 8, your favorite Friday the 13th, the final chapter, right?
Yeah.
Number 7, The Terminator. I'll be back, right? That's from that one. Number 6, your favorite, Henry's favorite. Everybody that's old, they all love it. Ghostbusters. Number 5, A
Everybody
Nightmare
that's old.
on Elm Street. Number 4, Body
Uh-huh.
Double. Number 3, we covered it on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I think I actually liked it the most when we covered it. So feeling really good about this movie right now. Gremlins. That was really fun. I liked covering Gremlins.
Yeah.
Number 2, the first film directed by the Coen brothers. Or this says only Joel Coen, according to Letterboxd. Blood Simple.
I think that they had to, like the Directors Guild wouldn't let them credit
Yeah, they're
themselves
written by
as a
Ethan.
brother team, so they had to like choose one to be credited as director and one to be credited as producer.
Wow.
Very
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. Joel, director, Ethan, producer. They both wrote it, though. That's
Yeah.
really cool. And then number 1, I watched it for, hey, I'm watching here. I forgot if it was you or Tim, but Paris, Texas.
It was
Seven
me.
Vendors. Great movie.
Yeah. All right. A great top 10 list. Love to see Reckless hanging in there. It's not in mine. Couple of honorable mentions: Amadeus, Broadway Danny Rose, 16 Candles, Starman, Swing Shift, Purple Rain.
Blame it on Rio. That was fun.
We'll get to that. Here's my top 10. Number 10, Body Double. Number 9, Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Number 8, Stop Making Sense. Number 7, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 6, This Is Spinal Tap. Number 5, Ghostbusters. Number 4, Stranger Than Paradise by Jim Jarmusch. Number 3, Blood Simple. Number 2, Paris, Texas. And number 1, Once Upon a Time in America.
Your favorite film?
4-hour cut. One of them, yeah.
That's amazing. I was wondering what number 1 was. It's a good list, though. We had like 7 similarities.
There you go. A fine year, 1984. All right, let's talk about Muppets Take Manhattan, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
All right. Well, first of all, I wrote Danhurst College. I go to Danhurst College. And I wrote that down because that's your name, Dan.
It is not a real college. They're filming, I think, at like Vassar or something like that. and you know, it's a weird scene. I always remember, this fucked me up at first because I remembered this one being kind of a direct sequel to the Muppet movie because it has the same sort of like let's put on a show vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But and it's like a lot of them like going into like talent agencies and like meeting with suits and like trying to like make art, which is like what the first one was.
I actually
Um,
liked that because I was thinking about the first one when we first meet that guy. I was like, this is just exactly like when we went and met Orson. But then the guy turns out to be he was like a big con artist, and I was like, oh, that's actually kind of funny.
oh yeah, that was Dabney Coleman. He was a big actor in the 80s.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, but it starts with them graduating from college, so it can't be taking place in the same timeline as the original. It wouldn't match
why not?
because don't
Are
they
they older?
like they sign with a talent agency in that movie to like become stars, right? Why would they then all enroll at college?
Yeah. Um, but they still have this love for doing the doing
Well, that's just
plays.
the Muppets. That's the Muppets no matter what. Although I
Okay.
guess not in like Christmas Carol. You don't see them like
Well, that's completely different though.
Scrooge. Scrooge will teach you the spirit of Christmas. Just listen to the song. Now we remember. uh,
Yeah, so that's actually a good point. I don't think I really picked up on that. I thought it was kind of a sequel, but they were really successful at the end of the last one. Now they're just back in college. So I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah. Back in college. All right. So they graduate. One thing I didn't like in this scene is when Animal chases that girl out. He's like trying to rape her.
Really.
I mean, I guess.
I feel like we're not using
Uh,
Animal enough.
I think we're using animal too much.
He's like not even in the next movie.
Yeah, I'm not an animal guy. Listen, uh, they don't. There's too much sexualization of the Muppets in this one. Okay, like Kermit is in a fucking love triangle with a human. All right, there's like there's too many scenes with like Muppets talking about their boners and shit. I'm not into it.
That's no different than the last movie though, with Miss Piggy and Charles Grodin.
I guess, but the joke there is that Charles Grodin was in love with Miss Piggy. It's funny, like a human man being in love with a pig puppet. It's less funny to see like a rabid animal Muppet chasing a woman around at full speed.
You're right. I agree with you. But guys, this is what's gonna happen right now. I'm gonna go try to throw up again
Oh
because
my god.
I am very sick today.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna
you
take a
know
little
that.
break, okay?
Okay.
I'm very, very sorry. Okay, I'll be
That's
right
okay.
back. I read your review and you talk that's what you basically talked about is like the love triangle part. But I really didn't think it was in I mean, I guess the difference is like another one they play it for comedy way more. But it basically is just like the reverse of the second movie, no?
Sort of, but the thing is, like, I never feel like the woman in this ever actually shows an interest in Kermit.
Hmm.
Like, it's kind of just like they have like a cute friendship that involves flirtation for some reason, and Miss Piggy is really jealous of a human. That's the plot.
So I think that's even better though that she's not into Kermit. Then it'd be like you said, it'd be weird.
No, I agree. Someone like Charles Grodin, who's like a comic master, can pull that off. The person, like they can maybe get away with it in this if it's like if they got like Joan Rivers to like become obsessed with Kermit or something, like
That's
that would be
good.
all right. But like in this, they got what's the name of this actress?
No, oh my God. No idea.
I mean, it might be the least consequential performance in anything ever.
Is she Juliana Donald?
That's her name. And she's perfectly fine in this movie. She plays Jenny. That's the character, right?
Yep.
And but like she's kind of just like a cute girl. Like he's like
Mhm.
very cute. And that's it.
Yeah. I really didn't get what like the like I don't know, I didn't think it was weird. Really.
I didn't think it was weird. I'm not even arguing that it was weird. It's just like and I'll be honest. When I wrote that review that you're referencing, I hadn't seen a Muppet movie in years. All right, and I just randomly put this on when I was sick a
You were just
couple years
amazed at the
ago.
authenticity of it, that you believed it.
Well, kind of, yeah. And
You
I
said
was
there's like
just
an honest to
I
goodness love triangle and you buy it or whatever.
and I didn't remember that they don't that like that they that the Muppets do human Muppet relationships that aren't played for laughs. Like I didn't remember that, and that's
Right.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Anyway, but I like the whole setup there. That they're in New York, that he works at the diner to like make money, and I love that her dad too, who runs the diner, is played by Paul Reiser's dad from Mad About You.
Wow. Amazing.
All right. So all my Mad About You fans in the audience, I know there's so many of them. Like our roughly 50% of our audience is just huge Mad About You heads. Everyone popped for Burt Buckman, right?
I thought you meant Art Carney. He's the other guy's dad though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the producer dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't really notice.
Yeah. All right. So what the plot they got to play, right? They want to get it on Broadway.
Yep, that's right. And then Kermit gets mad at everybody. They all go their separate ways.
I don't
And
know that he
that
gets mad. They're just like frustrated they can't get it going. And so
well, he
everyone
like yelled at
decides to
him
like
in the diner and then they all like took off.
oh, that's right. He's like, we never had a chance. We're
And-
fucked. I feel like it's a conversation we've had, Logan. Like,
yeah.
like when we're talking about like adding a video component to the show, I feel like you're everybody else and I'm Kermit.
Yeah, right. That's a good call.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he upsets everybody, so everybody leaves. And that was probably my least favorite part. It was just like we're just like watching everybody. I'm like, all right.
But here's what's great. Here's what's great. I like that they split up all the Muppets, and here's why. Because then you could do little sketches. All right. A lot of the movies like a sketch movie where they'll like cut to a Muppet in like a different part of America. And it's like, let's see what they're up to. It's a little sketch. Let's do a little sketch of like Rolf running an animal rescue or whatever. Like,
You
or
know who I
let's do
don't
a
really
little
like? I don't think
sketch of who was at the movie theater? Who's working at a movie
Scooter.
theater? Scooter.
I don't like the band, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Mm.
They don't ever excite me when they're on screen.
Well, I'll tell you, Dr. Teeth is kind of a relic. You don't really see him pop up as much in modern Muppet stuff because he's so of the early 70s. Like
Mhm.
that there were so many bands like that at the time, just like ran motley crews of hippies, just
Yeah.
churning shit out. I like the band more than I like Dr. Teeth. You know what, I like Dr. Teeth a lot. He's just way too prominent in these early Muppet movies.
I like how specific.
in the original Muppet movie, I feel like Dr. Teeth after like Kermit, Piggy, and Gonzo has the most screen time, which is wild.
Yeah, Rolf? What about Rolf?
Yeah, maybe Rolf.
What about Fozzie? Did you say Fozzie Bear?
I didn't say Fozzie Bear. You're right.
He's
There's
got
a
to be.
bunch.
He's got to be
Yeah.
fourth or whatever. But I actually liked Fozzie Bear in this one when that other bear starts cuddling with him and he's like, "Ooh, I like this." That was funny.
I liked when Kermit was reading his letter and it started with Waka Waka Waka. But seriously.
That was so funny. I loved that. Oh my goodness. Waka Waka. That's so good. Waka Waka.
It is very funny. Waka Waka.
I like Fozzie Bear. Fozzie Bear is one of my favorite ones.
He's super funny. He's like a vaudeville comedian. I feel like if any Muppet is a Jew, it's Fozzie.
That's interesting. The Fozzie doesn't do anything in the next movie. He's in my LVP contention for the next movie.
There's so many great Muppets that do fucking nothing in the next movie, and people love it. It's good. It's good. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it, but you're the lowest of anybody that I saw. on
Yeah,
Letterboxd.
but I think I might jack it up a star.
I like it. And we get Miss Piggy. I like Miss Piggy when the construction workers hit on her. That's funny.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Miss
like when
Piggy.
she's just banging on the thing, and Kermit's like, "What's that?" And Jenny or whatever is just like, "This is New York," and she's
Wait,
right. That is what New York sounds like.
yeah. We saw like a truck like get in the way of her, so we couldn't see her. Right? Truck like
Yeah,
pulled up in the way. But whatever. Um.
yeah. I thought Miss
I-
Piggy was gonna get Final Destination.
oh, that'd be great. There is someone walking behind you. I think that's from the third one. That's on that. There's like a big truck scene
Yeah,
in the third one. Uh, anyway, so we get basically we Kermit meets a producer's son anyway, right?
yeah. I looked up this actor because it seemed like he's probably somebody, but I mean, he kind of is. He had a big role in Dirty Dancing, but other than that, not much.
Aren't there two people that have a big role in Dirty Dancing?
Well, they have the two biggest roles, yeah. But this guy was like I don't know. I don't remember who he was.
It's like the eighth lead I'm looking at.
It might have been like the parents were like trying to set her up with him, but she was more into Swayze. He might be that guy.
Okay. He okay, that makes sense. What's the guy from that guy from Fast Times? Who's like that
Judge
type of
Reinhold?
character? Yeah, he's like a Judge Reinhold character.
He is a
Like I
little
can
like a Judge
imagine that guy
Reinhold.
being like
Yes.
that. But so we meet that guy, right? And he's got a dad, so he tries to talk to his dad. But then Kermit, this was kind of lame. Kermit just gets randomly hit by a car, and we lose Kermit for 20 minutes.
Yeah, he gets amnesia for like the whole third act.
Yeah, it's pretty lame, TBH. But
Yeah, I kind of agree. I remembered Muppets Take Manhattan as being my second favorite Muppet movie.
wow, it's not even my
Probably.
second so far.
Yeah, it kind of went down a little bit in my mind. I'm gonna stay at a 3, which is what I gave it originally. But I don't know. I think I like the Seagull one more. I think Caper might be better.
I think it
I
is.
don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
Paper might be
I
my favorite
do.
one.
There's stuff I like in this movie, jokes and scenes and sketches. Like I said, it's like kind of a sketchy movie. So
I
even
like
if you're not
Phil,
into
Jill,
something,
Gil, and Bill.
who are they?
Those are the
Oh,
frog accountants that he runs into.
oh yeah,
He starts
those
to
are
like become
good.
one of them.
And I like, oh yeah, I love them.
Yeah,
They're
they're
very
funny.
funny. Yeah. I love how boring they are. And I like the rats as well in this one. Lots of rats.
Yes.
And there's good New York locations and stuff. I mean, they bothered to shoot in like Sardi's, which is a restaurant on Broadway. How he takes down Liza Minnelli's portrait and puts up one of himself, Kermit.
Hmm.
That if you go to Sardi's now, they still have that Kermit portrait on the
Did
wall.
they actually take down Eliza Minnelli one for it?
No, that Liza's still there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Liza.
They only took down Liza's because she has the cameo in that scene.
Wait. Sorry, my brain is not working. They only they but in reality, they just put up a picture of Kermit. They didn't actually take anybody's down.
Yeah, they made space for one of
How did he
Kermit.
get such a good spot? There was nobody in that spot.
I don't know if it's in exactly that spot, man. Don't. I just know
It
that's
seemed really
hanging on the wall.
prominent. It's just crazy that wasn't taken already.
Yeah, because it's right behind him. It's Liza Minnelli's spot.
But not really, because you said they didn't actually move it.
Logan, I don't know the placement of portraits at Sardi's on a day-to-day basis. I
Okay.
can't update you.
It just like my brain got confused when you said that because it seemed like really prominent. It's amazing that wasn't taken already. But anyway,
it was. That's the point of that scene. Kermit is sitting directly in front of a Liza Minnelli portrait. He takes it off the wall and puts up one of himself. That's the joke.
but you said that didn't actually happen in the reality of that restaurant.
I'm saying they did for the couple minutes they filmed that scene.
Okay,
but
no,
it's
no,
not
nobody
like
cares about this. My brain hurts. So then what happens? They all meet
I
at the
don't
diner,
know.
right? They're like, "Oh, Kermit's here."
Yeah. I'll tell you a problem with this movie. The songs aren't good.
Okay, that's fine. I kind of agree.
Yeah. All these movies to this point have been a musical. I think the Muppet movie is the only one of these that works as a musical. Where like when the dialogue stops and the song starts, you don't feel anything. You don't feel any disappointment. You're just like, all right, next part of the movie. Cool. What's this song? Whereas at a certain point in Muppets Take Manhattan, when a song would start, I'd be like, oh, all right.
I felt that
I'll be
more in the
back in
next
3
one, I think.
minutes.
Christmas
Yeah, I
Carol.
felt that in the next one too, except for the opening song where they introduce Scrooge. That song's a banger.
Okay, I agree with that. But yeah,
Yeah,
good call. First one's really the only one that succeeds as a musical, I think.
absolutely.
All right, so then we
Just
have a big
deserve to
wedding.
lose to Purple Rain. Yeah, big
Like into
wedding.
Shrek
There's
a
a
little bit.
They reveal the Reverend to be like I thought it was gonna be a cameo because like it seemed like a big reveal, but I think it's just like a real life Reverend.
I don't know.
They had like Miss Piggy and Kermit like get really married. Can you imagine that? What about think about it? Jim Henson's hand got legally married to Frank Oz's hand.
Wow. Did they sign a contract?
I don't know. Do you think like Frank Oz's hand got any money when Jim Henson died?
Yes, I do.
Uh, all right.
The Sesame Street crew is at the wedding. Saw Big Bird and
As
everybody.
as is the Fraggle Rock crew.
I don't know them.
Yeah, that was another Henson show in the 80s that was for kids. It was on HBO Saturday mornings. Um but oh, we didn't talk about the Muppet Babies.
Oh yeah, that was lame, I thought.
Oh, fuck you. That I mean, you're allowed to think that. This is nostalgia. But the Muppet Babies was a cartoon in the 80s.
Right.
And it debuted 2 months after this movie came out. And this whole scene is just like setting up the Muppet Babies, like the
That's why I
status
hated it.
quo. And it's even like what they're wearing in the actual cartoon and shit. Like Gonzo in particular looked perfection. And I was blown away.
Okay. It did nothing for me. Obviously I knew about the Muppet babies and I thought that this was just gonna like setting up that, which so I didn't like it. But
Yeah, no, I get that. It has nothing to do with the movie. It's kind of like if a movie did this today, I'd be annoyed. Like, oh, you're
exactly.
just gonna like stop your movie for 5 minutes and set up a fucking cartoon that's gonna be on Disney Plus.
You'd be so mad.
Fuck you.
I can see it now.
I'd be furious. I would say exactly what I just said. But since I was a child when I saw this for the first time, I like this scene.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's fair.
no rhyme or reason to it.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't
Yeah.
have to be.
I agree. Anything else you want to say about this movie?
Honestly, not really.
I
give it
All
a
right,
3.
I give it yeah, me too.
Well, I guess we should talk
Who's your
about some of we had Joan Rivers. She was very funny, I thought.
Oh, cameos, sure.
Elliot Gould is back again.
Wait, Joan Rivers, that one was crazy because that one didn't even feel like they had it planned. Like it was just like they had Joan Rivers for an hour and they like ad-libbed. It's just like
Yeah,
her
it was
and Jim
hilarious.
and Frank Oz ad-libbing. It is funny.
Probably the funniest
And
part
you
of the
could
movie.
tell like they're amusing the shit out of each other.
And I liked how they were like attacking each other with all the makeup, and then we cut
Yeah.
to like the people watching, and you're like, "Oh, that's a
Yes.
funny cut." Everyone's just like, "What
Yeah.
the hell is going on?"
That was a really good one. Then there's Gregory Hines, who Miss Piggy borrows his rollerblades or roller skates, I guess, for a chase scene.
Yeah,
And then he shows back up and he's like, "You can keep them." What is his bit there?
I don't know. She
He
got.
just-
I remember
he
she
just
got
sort of runs
robbed,
off
and
into the
she.
woods.
Yeah, she like took them because she got robbed, but I don't remember.
Yeah, but later, like Gregory Hines shows back up and like lets her keep the skates for some reason, but I don't remember why.
I don't either.
All right, whatever.
John
What other
Landis.
cameos? Oh God!
Your
And you know
favorite?
what? It's 1 year later.
Oh, really?
It's one. Yeah, this man, John Landis, is in this movie. He is less than 1 year removed from directly causing the deaths of 3 human beings.
And two little kids,
And he's
right?
just there cameoing in a kid movie. Yeah, he murdered 2 kids, and now he gets to appear in a Muppet movie. There was
Yeah.
no accountability for such a long time. Congrats to Marvel. I want to say this right now. Yesterday, the verdict came out in Jonathan Majors' assault trial, and he was charged guilty. Okay, less than an hour later, Marvel announced that he was done. He's
Yeah.
fired from their entire universe. Okay, and that rules. That fucking rules. I mean, John Landis should have gone to prison for what he did on the set of the Twilight Zone movie. Okay, he didn't because rich famous people don't go to prison, and I understand that. That's part of America. Okay,
Hmm.
it's a bug, but it's a thing. And but I mean, can't Hollywood at least be like, "Yo, fuck you, dude," or like, you know, this is Frank. Fuck Frank Oz for this. Fuck Frank Oz because Frank Oz gets the chance to make a G-rated movie that is marketed exclusively to children, okay, and then just casually casts a guy who is less than a year removed from murdering 2 children,
Yeah.
murdering them, like taking 2 living children, and then when he's done with them, they're dead.
Yeah. I didn't know the timeline, but I definitely fully agree with you. And not a good look, Frank. What are you doing?
No, and as in anything John Landis is involved with in any way, I give this an LVP.
Yeah, I have 0 people written down for the LVP, but it has to be John Landis. By the way, I saw this week John Landis, his son, Max Landis, right?
Oh yeah, just another piece of shit he created.
He he's doing a new thing where he's doing like screenplay consulting. Like you can talk to Max Landis and get help on your screenplays.
I'll tell you how to make it edgy and how to hate gays.
Yeah, there was a big video he released this week. I watched it. I thought it was hilarious. Uh, I fucking hate Max Landis. I knew Max Landis way before I knew about John Landis. Max Landis was all over YouTube for a long time in like 2014 or something. Fucking hate him.
Oh, he's a piece of shit. He's a chip off the old block.
Yeah. Chronicle was pretty good though.
There's very little about that puts me off Hollywood more than the fact that John Landis continued to like John Landis. He eventually lost his directing career because his movies stopped making money.
Yeah, the money was the issue.
Yeah, yeah, he was able to make movies. Hey, as long as they're making money, we're good. You can murder as many kids as you want. No big deal. There was never a break in time. During the time he was on trial for that, there was never a year he didn't put out a movie. He just
Yeah.
kept working.
It's tough. It's sad.
It pisses me off. I hate talking about it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we have to anymore.
All
R.I.P. to
right.
those 2 little kids and that adult also.
Yes.
All right. So I give it a 3. My MVP. I'm gonna go Kermit the Frog again. He's an
Even though
all-star.
he's amnesiac for a third of the movie.
Oh, who else would I go though? I don't want to go Miss
Maybe
Piggy.
Piggy. I like Piggy following him around and shit.
Oh yeah, I was actually thinking about the
Um,
next one. The next one, Miss Piggy doesn't show up for like an hour into the movie.
I know it's
Miss Piggy
infuriating.
might be the MVP of this one. That's a good call.
I like it. Maybe I'll do the same thing. I'll
I
go
don't
with
want
Miss
to
Piggy.
go. You can't go any of the other ones, like, because they're just like they get separated.
Yeah,
And then
they're
they
all
come.
just sort of scattered to the winds. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has to be Kermit, Piggy, or one of the humans. But I don't ever want to give one of the humans unless it's Charles
Yeah, fuck
Grodin.
that.
By the way, we
All
forgot
right.
Brooke Shields.
Oh yeah, she turns up, and of course, the rat hits on her because we're
Yes.
just hitting on humans all over this movie.
Yeah. Uh,
Elliot Gould showed up again, second time. He was in
yeah.
the original Muppet movie.
Right.
He
That's right.
loves the Muppets. And what about Mayor Ed Koch, who was the mayor when I was born?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I didn't know him.
shut up.
You were like, wow,
Yeah.
Ed Koch. Holy shit.
Well, I knew him more because in the '90s, after he was mayor, he became the judge on the People's Court.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
Frances Bergen? Did we just talk about that she's Candace Bergen's mom?
No, I
Did we
think
make that
that
up?
was Eddie Bergen, her
Oh, her
dad.
dad.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. I don't really have anything else on this one. Muppets Take Manhattan. It's fine. Not as good as the first two. IMHO.
Okay, let's move on to the Christmas Carol. Hey, this is the Christmas episode of the franchise.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
pop
Merry
some
Christmas, guys.
maybe pop some sleigh bells over the theme song.
All right, I'd love to do that.
All right. Muppet Christmas Carol. I saw it in theaters. Okay,
Although
this is the only
you do
Muppet
know the
movie.
theme song these days is like it's really short and it's the Ninja Turtle thing, right? From when they're like, we're making franchises here or whatever they say.
Oh
Remember
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I haven't listened to this show in a long time.
Yeah.
Um God. And where are we? Oh, Muppet
The
Christmas
next
Carol.
movie.
So I saw this in the theaters. Okay, the only Muppet movie I ever saw in theaters, and I thought it was okay at the time. I feel like I was overexposed to the Christmas Carol. As a kid, people want you to watch Christmas Carol. So I'd already seen like the original Scrooge, like black and white. And my mom even took me when I was a kid to Madison Square Garden, the theater at Madison Square Garden. They had a live Christmas Carol performance, and I went to it. And I remember that someone from my high school was in it, and it was like a big deal.
Who were they?
I don't know. It's like someone in my sister's class. He
No,
he
like,
went on
who'd they
to.
play? Who'd they play? Did they play anything?
I don't. I think he played like Tiny Tim or something.
Oh
Like
wow,
he was a
huge
kid. But he went on, Logan, to be the narrator on the first 3 seasons of Love Island USA.
Really? Matt Hoffman?
Yeah, Matt Hoffman.
Holy shit. Yeah, you told me that you knew Matt Hoffman.
Yeah.
Head of Household.
Head of
That's a
Household.
different guy.
Yeah, that's
That's hilarious though.
what's his name? Matt Hoffman?
Yeah, it's both Matt Hoffman. It's just a different
Oh, they're
guy.
both Matt Hoffman, right?
That's right.
Okay. So, anyway, this was a big deal when it came out. Here's how it happened. It's a weird story. So by this point, Jim Henson's dead. They're trying to figure out what to do with the Muppet franchise. Brian Henson is in charge. He's the son. Okay. Now he earned his way to the top by coming out of Jim Henson's balls.
Yeah, it's the way to do it.
All right. I'm just letting you know. Like that's the number one reason why Brian Henson eventually is able to direct the Muppet Christmas Carol. I mean, he's a good puppeteer himself. He was one of like the head puppeteers on Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors, and he created those like penguin guys for the last couple movies. And I'm not saying like the guy's talentless or whatever, but I'm just gonna say that he made a couple of mediocre. Yeah, I would just argue he made a couple of mediocre Muppet movies in the '90s and then didn't direct anything else until the Happy Time Murders. So judge for yourself. All right,
good call.
Anyway, but don't worry about Brian Henson. And I mean, I want to say that he is married in real life to Mia Sara, the female lead from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Wow, that's incredible.
All right, so I mean, between his daddy's money and that you can't beat that life.
No, it sounds pretty great.
Yeah. Okay. So Brian Henson's agent calls up Brian Henson. All right. He's like, "Hey, Brian. Here, you be Brian. I'll be the agent.
Hey, Bobby.
What's up? You know what you want to do for your next Muppety project yet?"
Yup. I'm thinking Scrooge.
No, you're not thinking that. You haven't come up with that
Yes, I
idea
am.
yet.
Oh,
Nope.
I'm thinking about it already. I just don't talk about it much.
You're not. You're full of shit.
I promise.
You're ruining the story.
No, I know what I'm gonna do. You asked me a question.
All right. Logan doesn't know how to ad lib within the bounds of true storytelling, so we can't.
I'm just doing the thing how like J.K. Rowling is like, I got it all planned. Everybody thinks they have it all planned.
You're like a no but That's your strategy. Come on.
Yeah, you're right.
Um,
Sorry.
listen,
You're right. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Tell me what my plan is.
Oh, that's right. Listen, you ever hear of the Christmas Carol? That's a great story, right?
No, what is that? Oh, Scrooge.
No, you know that.
Scrooge.
Yeah, Scrooge. You
Oh,
know
yeah,
Scrooge. Well, listen to this. I was thinking about it the other day. I was on the can, my butthole's wide open, just shit flowing out of it, and
All
I'm
right.
like, listen, I can't get Scrooge out of my head. It's a great idea. So what I did was I called ABC, the network. You know, it's Channel 7 in New York. I don't know where it is elsewhere. But I called them and I was like, "Hey, ABC, how do you feel about Muppet TV special for Christmas doing Christmas Carol?" Disney is like, it's not Disney, it's ABC. ABC, Disney owns ABC, okay? But ABC agrees. They're like, "Yes, we're going to do a TV movie." All right. Wait, I forgot that we were
Isn't this the
ad-libbing.
first one with the Disney logo? Am I wrong about that?
It is. But I'll tell you why. So ABC signs up to do it as a TV movie. Okay.
Right.
So they start working on it with that in mind as a special. And Disney liked the script they came up with so much that they decided to buy it as a feature.
Amazing.
And that's how Disney ends up with the Muppet rights. The script was written by a fellow named Jerry Jewell, who was the head writer of The Muppet Show for seasons 2 through 5. He also has a writing credit on the first Muppet movie, though not the subsequent ones. And now he's gonna write like 3 in a row or something. Like this one, Treasure Island, Space. I think we're all him. Brian Henson's our director. This came out December 11th, 1992, on a budget of $12 million, and it made $27.2 million at the box office, which was a disappointment at the time. Disney like promoted the fuck out of it. They thought it was going to be a big hit, and then it got its ass beat at the box office by Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
This is 8 years
it-
later. That's crazy.
Yeah. This came in at number 47 at the box office. It made slightly less money than Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. It's hilarious. And if you're wondering if Stallone says that in the movie, he does. And it made slightly more than Howard's End.
Wow.
With Anthony Hopkins. I've never seen Howard's End, but you know what I've always been interested in?
What?
There's no punctuation in that title.
No apostrophe in Howard's?
No.
What?
So the movie looks really boring to me. I've never wanted to watch it, but I've always wanted to know why there's no apostrophe in the title.
Yeah, it has to be a choice.
Yeah.
Howard's End.
I recommend you watch Howard's End this week and tell me why.
Wait, is it like is their
title.
last name Howard? Like the
So
Howard's
it-
End
like-
or something?
Howard's End? The
The
end of the Howards.
End, you know?
But wouldn't there even be like Howard's End? Wouldn't there be like an apostrophe after the S?
No. Howard's. No, it's like this is the Howard's End. I don't know. I kind of don't think so.
I think so.
Howard's
Logan.
is?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Logan, right before the podcast, right before we started recording, 10 minutes before, I looked at the Patreon. Okay. James Davis wrote Michael Caine ranking.
Okay.
So I banged one out in
That's
10
amazing.
minutes.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Okay.
Last Jaws the Revenge.
No.
No, you actually like that one.
Yeah, I don't mind that movie. So 35 movies on my Michael Caine
This is
ranking.
crazy. Blame It on Rio, number 1.
No.
Probably Dark Knight Rises. You're so horny for the Dark Knight Rises.
That's a good movie, dude.
Yeah. Let's go hear it. 35 movies.
All right, you want to hear it? Here they
Absolutely.
are.
I can't wait to see where Get Carter is, right? That's a film that
Yeah.
we watched of his. Great movie.
I've also seen the remake, which he's also in.
Really?
Now,
Is that a
this isn't
franchise?
every Michael Caine movie. No, just a remake. Yeah, I've not seen them all, so there's gonna be some things missing. But let me know, all right? Let me know what Michael Caine movies I should be watching. Okay, if it's not on the list, all right, should I watch The Holcroft Covenant, starring Michael Caine as Holcroft? Should I be watching the original Italian Job? I've never seen that. Should I see that movie, The Swarm, about killer bees?
You gotta
So
see Now
many to
You See
choose
Me.
from with Michael Caine. All right. Should I see that movie, Mr.
Journey 2.
Destiny,
Oh.
which is a Jim Belushi vehicle that Michael Caine is in? Wait, what do you mean Journey? Journey to the Mysterious Island? Is he in that?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
He's also in The Last Witch Hunter, the Vin Diesel film.
And I've never seen that.
Yeah, we gotta check that out. That was directed by Breck Eisner.
I
He did
know
The
him. Didn't he do
Crazies.
Sahara?
Sahara, yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie, even though it sucks. All right, 35. Here it is. Bewitched. All right. Number 34, Austin Powers in Goldmember. He plays his dad. Number 33, On Deadly Ground, which is a Steven Seagal movie directed by Steven Seagal. Okay, incredible. Number 32, Get Carter remake. 31, Jaws 4, The Revenge. 30, Secondhand Lions. Number 29, Tenet. Number
Wow.
28, yeah. Number 28, Dunkirk. Number 27, Miscongeniality. Number 26,
Background
Without a
music.
Clue. Without a Clue. He plays Sherlock Holmes in that one. Number 25, I've lost my place. Oh no. This always happens.
Is this one of
25,
those
Muppet.
lists where you like
Yeah, it's all random. I did in 10 minutes. 25 is Muppet Christmas Carol. 24 is Cider House Rules. All right. 23 is Youth. Number 22, Blame It on Rio. Incredible film. I love that film because it has the same plot as the Team Skeet series, Daughter Swap.
Oh,
Number 21 is The Ipcris File. Number 20, Inception.
Whoa.
Number 19, Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. Number 18, The Weatherman with Nicolas Cage. Number 17, The Prestige. Number 16, Batman Begins. Number 15, Quills. Number 14, The Quiet American. Okay, with Brendan Fraser. At number 13, Interstellar. Number 12, Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Wow.
I like that movie. Number 11, Children of Men.
Yeah, that's a good
Here's
one.
the top 10 Michael
He dies
Caine
in that one,
movies.
right?
Yeah, plus he gets to deliver a monologue to my favorite Radiohead song, Life in a Glass House. It's pretty baller.
Wow. Was that the one with the guy whose thing fills up with water?
No, that's No Surprises.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, no, but good call. When did I reference that? A Saw movie?
Yep, we did it for Saw 4. That was the outro
Right.
for that.
Number 10, Noises Off. Number 9, Blood and Wine. Rhymes. Number 8, Death Trap.
Wow.
Number 7, The Man Who Would Be King. Number 6, Original Get Carter.
Yeah.
And the top 5. Number 5, Dirty Heavy Hitters. Number 5, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Number 4, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 3, The Dark Knight. Number 2, Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill.
Oh,
And number
that's a good
1, Woody Allen with Hannah and Her Sisters.
Wow. It's a good list.
Thank you.
You never
Thank
saw
you.
you never saw Romeo and Juliet?
I've never seen Romeo and Juliet or Sherlock Gnomes.
I don't think he's in that one. You never saw The Weatherman with Nick Cage?
Wow, but he played Sherlock Holmes, and he's in the one with no Sherlock Holmes? Doesn't make sense.
He might
All right,
be.
what'd you say?
Oh, he is. It's Sherlock Gnomes. I see it here.
All right. What was the other one you said?
The Weatherman, Nick Cage?
That was on the list, bitch.
Really? Really far down?
Number 18.
No, not that far. All right.
That one's all right.
It's a great
I
list.
saw that in theaters.
Yeah.
I think I owned it on pre-owned DVD at Blockbuster.
Wow.
Okay, let's talk about the Christmas Carol, right?
Yeah, I'm not that
So
familiar
it's
with
like
it. I gotta say. You said
you mean
you were. I
you
mean,
mean the
yeah, I
story
haven't
of
seen it.
Scrooge?
Oh, yes, of course
Like
I'm familiar with
Annie?
it. I mean, I know it, but I'm not. I haven't seen the movies.
But do you know like the story? Like he's a dick, and then goes to
Yeah,
Christmas past, present, and future, and then he's a good guy.
yeah, but it's honestly it's a little too similar to It's a Wonderful Life. I think.
Mm.
Like
Well, I mean,
that
this
guy's never a
predates It's a
jerk
Wonderful.
like Scrooge, and he never wants to like ruin everybody's Christmas. But it's like that guy who goes through the transformation and then realizes at the end, like, oh, there's like value to everything. I don't want to die.
Yeah, I
And
mean, you know that Christmas Carol was a Charles Dickens novel from like the 1800s, right?
sure, yeah,
Yeah, so this got there first.
yeah, of course, yeah. But
Yeah.
I liked at the end, by the way, they were like, if you liked this, maybe go read the book. And I was like, oh, turn the movie off.
Well,
Definitely not doing that.
I dig that about the movie. Like they have Gonzo as Charles Dickens,
He's
and
awesome.
so yeah, I thought so too. And so you actually get to hear some like prose from the Dickens novel and like some interesting stuff about like omniscient narrators at one point. I
Yeah,
don't know. I thought that really added a lot to the story, and I've never seen it before, which is cool. Like I've seen a shit ton of Christmas Carol adaptations, and I've never seen any of them use Charles Dickens as like a narrator type.
that's a cool aspect. Yeah, I didn't really know that that wasn't a thing. But I agree.
Yeah.
I thought Gonzo and Rizzo were both very funny. Possible MVP for
I
either of
agree.
them.
Yeah, well, honestly, the MVP is probably Kane, right? Like he makes his whole
Yeah.
movie. I feel like this is kind of a nothing movie without that performance.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But all right, so we get should we rank 1992? Should we do that?
Oh yeah, we can do that. Sure.
All right, number 10 for me is Muppet Christmas Carol. Number 9, we covered it, El Mariachi. Number 8, Light Sleeper. 7, a movie that's
Yeah.
like Light Sleeper. Deep Cover. I feel like those are pretty much the same
Yeah.
movie. 6, A Few Good Men. 5, Batman Returns. 4, The Player. 3, I love this movie. I always will. My Cousin Vinny. Number 2, Reservoir Dogs. And number 1, Malcolm X.
Yeah. All right. It's a good list.
Nice.
Reservoir Dogs just outside my list at number 11.
Wow, that's cool.
But shout out to some honorable mentions: Gas Food Lodging, Glengarry Glen Ross, In the Soup, Romper Stomper, Basic Instinct,
League of
Candyman.
Their Own, Encino Man.
All great, yeah. But here's my top 10. Number 10, The Player. Number 9, Unforgiven. Number 8, Deep Cover. Number 7, Damage by Polanski. It's just as bad as John Landis. Number 6, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me. Number 5, Batman Returns. Number 4, Bad Lieutenant, which we'll cover someday. Number 2, wait, I skipped 3. 3 is Husbands and Wives. Number 2 is Light Sleeper. And number 1, Malcolm X.
Husbands and Wives, was that the one with Michael Caine you just said?
No, that's Hannah and her sisters.
Oh, okay.
This is a different Woody Allen
Another
movie
one
over
with
there
Anne
at number
still.
3.
Um,
Yeah. What?
All right. It's one of those
Oh, he likes
blank and
he
yeah,
likes Anne titles, man. Crimes and Misdemeanors,
yeah,
Sweet and Low Down. There's a bunch of them.
yeah. The All right, so let's get into it. I'm excited. Why do you hate it so much?
Okay. I don't hate it. All right. So growing up, everyone loved this movie. Like every kid I knew, like this was the version of Christmas Carol that they'd watch. And as I grew up, I more and more saw it becoming like outrageously well liked, you know? Like it was the kind of thing like where when it came out, all right, say Letterboxd existed in 1992. I
Right.
feel like you'd see a lot of people giving this movie 3. Okay? That was sort of the consensus. And then over time it hit a 4, okay? And then by the time Letterboxd became an actual thing, I'm looking on there and seeing lots of 5s.
Wow.
All right? And that's at a point generations reach a certain point with pieces of entertainment where we don't see it anymore. We are incapable of seeing it for what it is. I feel like I feel like now it's the way like boomers talk about like Woodstock. And then like you're like, that the Beatles and the Stones weren't even there, right? It was just like the Who and like, you know, Sha Na Na and shit. Like wasn't that amazing.
Yeah.
But people talk about it like it was the number one greatest concert ever of all time ever. You know. And or my sister's generation, they watch like I don't even Reality Bites or something. Like they think it's like this great piece of art. It's like pretty mediocre for what it is.
What's the difference in age between you and your sister?
She's 6 years older than me, so she's a little more Gen X.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm older millennium.
Yeah.
Anyway, it happens all the time. Your generation does it too, Logan. I'm sure. What's something from your childhood that now is just like universally accepted as a masterpiece?
Van Helsing.
Yeah, I feel like it's the way you talk about things like Van Helsing or Sky High.
That one makes sense.
No,
Sky
Van
High,
Helsing is just Sky High is a better example because Sky High is a total 3, but like your generation has decided it's like the like
maybe like Lord of the Rings,
unsung greatest. No, everyone loved Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but they're not 5s.
Lord of the Rings was huge. What about Pirates?
I feel like people gave up on Pirates really quickly.
I guess you're right. Anyway, for my generation, I always think of it as this and Hocus Pocus. All right, those are two mediocre to bad movies that my generation has decided are all time like you go up to a dude who's like 37 years old,
maybe like Halloween Town.
That's good. Yeah, you go up to like a 37-year-old right now, especially a girl, all right, and just try to convince her that Citizen Kane is a better movie than Hocus Pocus. You will not be able to get through.
Yeah, impossible.
Yeah.
Good call.
Thank you. So I always felt that about this movie. Like it's good or whatever. It's like a straight telling of Christmas Carol. And if you want like a straight telling of the Christmas Carol told by the Muppets in 90 minutes, this does what it says on the tin. It's pretty perfect on that level, But like, what's so amazing about that?
I don't know. I think that the acting is really great. I think everyone's top notch. This might be
that's where it comes from, right? Like the rest of the movie, script wise, like if this was just an ABC TV movie, which was the original intention, I would not be surprised. What elevates the movie beyond that entirely is Michael Caine.
But I think that the Muppets are. I think this is like the most human Kermit has felt.
Fuck that. Fuck
really?
You. Jim Henson is dead. This is not Kermit. It doesn't sound right.
Okay. No. Oh, you're absolutely right. I'm not gonna say.
Who sounds like shit? Statler and Waldorf. That's not my Statler and Waldorf.
But I like Kermit's outfits. I like the way he moves. I like his whole demeanor.
The production design and the costuming and I think the casting of which Muppet is who's who and stuff, like that all works for me fine. But like I really like Beaker and the green guy coming at the beginning, like as the charity. Like that's really good. There's little moments like that where they use the exact right Muppet for the exact right character. I always thought Fozzie's Fezziwig is brilliant. Fozzie, same thing. I was in the Christmas Carol once as a kid, a production of it, and I played Fezziwig.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
I don't even remember what he does in this one, Fozzie.
He's just like he's the boss in the past. He's like the nicer boss before Scrooge took over.
Barely rings a bell. But so basically Michael Caine is Scrooge, right? We see like all the past about why he is the way he is. He had a girlfriend, Belle, but then he was like, we don't have money to get married. We can't get married.
Yeah. Now that stuff was good.
I agree.
Although I would say like they shot it on like an ice rink that's clearly an indoor set.
And I hated her
And
song. She performs a song and it sucks.
all the songs
Boring.
after the first song are terrible.
What's the first one?
You know, Scrooge is a dick, a
Oh
real
yeah.
fucking dick. You know,
Yeah,
whatever
that
it
is.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, none of the music was great, but we get so Bob Cratchit is Kermit, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a
Kermit in
family.
quotes. In quotes.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Kermit in
It's
quotes.
not real Kermit. It's not
Oh,
real
right.
Kermit.
But we got Miss Piggy, real Miss Piggy, voiced by
I
Frank
read
Oz.
it when I was doing research about this movie. I read something, a quote from the dude who did play Kermit in this movie, and he said he was really nervous about playing Kermit in the movie, and then the night before filming started, the spirit of Jim Henson visited him in his dream and gave him permission. And I want to beat the shit out of that guy. That never happened. That is such bullshit. Fuck you.
Yeah. The, do people when they say that, do they know they're lying?
Yes,
That's crazy.
but they know how it sounds, and they know we can't really dispute it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But we will dispute it anyway,
I will
you
dispute it.
liar.
Piece of
But
shit.
we've got a son, Tiny Tim, and Tiny Tim is
He's
sick.
so cute. I love the little Kermit guy.
He is so cute. And
Yeah.
later he dies, but not really dead.
Well, he
Right?
dies in the alternate future of the Ghost of Christmas Future. By the way, I realized when the Ghost of Christmas Future showed up that anytime I think about Christmas Carol, I think about that. Like just the look of that.
Really?
Yeah. That's a really good character design, the Christmas Future guy. It's really spooky. I read that in the original conception of it, it was supposed to be Gonzo, and it was supposed to be like you just see his nose sticking out of the cloak,
This
which
is
I
the
kind of
third
think is
guy?
all, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
which I kind of think is also great. But I'm glad they did it the way they did.
Yeah, I like it. I want to bring up a quote that made me cry.
Wow.
It's when Tiny
Did a
Tim.
raccoon deliver the line? Is that why you
No,
cried?
no.
Okay.
It's when Tiny Tim dies though, and this is what Kermit has to say, or this is what Bob Cratchit has to say. He says, "Life is made up of meetings and partings. That is the way of it. I'm sure we shall never forget Tiny Tim or this first parting that there was among us." How beautiful is that?
Yeah, yeah, that's Charles
It's such like a beautiful
Dickens.
way
It's
to
not.
speak about death in your
Yeah,
family, I thought.
absolutely.
I thought that was so
Dickens was an
moving.
incredible writer. I would argue that Brian Henson couldn't come up with something quite that profound.
That was so moving. I really loved it. I
That's
never heard it
great.
like like
Logan, maybe if you read more, it would really like open up your mind the way you see things.
I don't have time to read. That's too much. But I don't know. I never really heard it talked about like that. Well, yeah, like a lot of us are gonna die in the family. Like we're gonna part ways a whole bunch of times. This is the first one. Let's not be so sad about it, you know?
Yeah,
And that was really beautiful.
it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that you were so moved by that.
Yeah, I
That's
really
great.
was. I wrote down the whole fucking thing. I rewound it and everything.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that was beautiful. And then so at the end of the movie, what happens?
End of the movie.
Oh,
How
are we
are
not
we
at
at
the
the
end
end
of
of
the
the
movie?
movie?
Well, I feel like we just bounced through the whole thing. What else? What else should we talk about?
I don't know. What do you got?
Well,
We
Statler and
didn't go through
Waldorf.
the. We didn't go through the.
I feel like
Yeah,
there weren't
Statler and
any.
Waldorf. But what about the ghosts? I don't mean the cameos. I mean the ghosts.
Okay, what do we got? We had the first guy.
Because I always think that first one's a weird choice. You know, it's
It's
like
scary, I thought.
not really a. What are you talking about?
The little girl angel? I thought that
Yeah,
was
you thought that
scary
was
looking.
scary? What's scary?
Yeah. Looked like a little
I
doll. I don't know.
I just thought it was weird that it felt very CGI to me. Like, you know how they used to say like the first couple Muppet movies, like there's no post production. We did everything
Right.
in camera. I don't feel that way about this movie. I feel like there's a lot of shit done in post production,
That's a good call.
and uh, and I feel like this character is almost entirely post production.
Yeah. She was probably my least favorite one, honestly.
Me too. Yeah, I didn't get it. Listen, if I'm gonna be watching a Muppet movie, I want to see some puppet artistry. Okay, you know,
Yeah.
I really felt that one of the problems with Muppets Take Manhattan, and it continues into this movie, is with the first two movies, I get the sense that the crew of puppet artists were really trying to push forward the medium of puppetry and
Well,
like
you
doing
told me they
things.
made a giant house for Animal in the first movie to
Yeah,
bust
or
out
like
of.
the shot at the end of the first movie with all of the Muppets and like you can't see the performers and it fades, the camera pulls out and shit.
Yeah,
Or
we were
like,
pushing the envelope back then.
yeah, or all the bicycles in the second movie and shit. Like we were like, I feel like the almost the part of the purpose of those first couple Muppet movies was to push the envelope of puppetry, and I feel like we don't give a fuck about that anymore.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're 100% right. We've sort of abandoned that aspect.
Y- Yeah, yeah. So like, if I'm gonna watch a Muppet movie, I want everybody to be Muppets. There's a certain section of this movie where it's like, Michael Caine just like chatting with a post production character. I don't care about that.
No, but Michael Caine's so good that you kind of do.
I guess so. Um, then the second one's kind of cute though. It's that big giant bear guy.
Yeah, he was all right. Two of three, I would say.
Yeah. No, the best one's Future. That
Yeah,
is so spooky looking, man. It looks
yeah.
like a Dementor.
I thought it was like a X-Men Sentinel, like one of those guys.
What?
Isn't is that what that's called? The Sentinel?
I don't think so. Sentinels are giant robots.
I thought it looked like that. He had like the weird little like no head thing. It looked like the Days of Future Past
Sentinels have
Sentinels.
heads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what Sentinels you're talking about.
I don't either. I'm not a big X-Men fan. I'm just kidding. I am. I just don't know that much about it. But yeah, so Michael Caine, he is all bummed out, right? He's like, "Oh no, I've
Yeah,
ruined everybody's life. Everybody hates me, but I can make up for it, right? I can
yeah,
love
he
Christmas,
does.
and I can give Kermit a raise.
Yeah, and pay the mortgage to his house.
He's very nice. He went from like the most evil guy ever to really nice.
Well, yeah, and all it took was one night. I wish that could always happen. Like, I feel like if Elon Musk was visited by the ghosts of Christmas, past, present, and future, he'd wake up and just be like, "Weird dream," and then go about his day.
Yeah, he wouldn't even acknowledge that it happened.
It would not affect him whatsoever.
Right. I don't really have that much to say about it.
Okay. Um, I mean, look, I think it's good. I give it a 3, but it's like a straight adaptation of Christmas Carol. I don't see it as some great piece of art or anything. Like, you pop it on at Christmas. If a kid doesn't know the Christmas Carol story, maybe show this to them first. Like, it's a good version of the story, and it's G rated, and it's got the Muppets in it. Like, you can't beat that. It's great on that level. Maybe that's why people give it a 5, because like of what it's aiming to do, it does exactly what it's trying to do. I just think like as a piece of filmmaking, it's just okay.
Yeah, you brought up a lot of good criticisms about it, how about fake Kermit and not pushing the envelope so much anymore, sort of giving up on that. And I don't think I was ever coming in with a 4, to be honest. But I'm definitely at a 3. There's no way I would give it a 2.
No, me neither. I'm moving up to a 3. My
My
my previous 2 grade on Letterboxd might have been a little harsh, just reacting to how much everyone loves it.
Yeah, I think that's more what it was.
Yeah,
My MVP, I'll go Michael Caine.
me too.
Yeah,
And
super good.
the LVP,
I wrote Fozzie, Animal, Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy's good. She's just not in it enough.
That's a problem though for me. Is Animal in it at all?
I feel like he is. I feel like
I
he
can't
is.
remember.
Um,
I'll go
I'm
Animal.
gonna give LVP to Fake Kermit,
Wow, fake
and
Kermit.
yeah, yeah, and I might not have given it to him until I read that thing about his stupid fucking dream.
Yeah, that's terrible too. Oh my
Yeah.
god. So many so many things to not like about this movie, kind of. But the contents within it I think are pretty good. But a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of weird behind the scenes stuff. But I do think I like this more than Manhattan though. And that'd be my
Wow.
third favorite
Okay.
one so far.
Yeah, I might do that too.
Yeah, I might go 1, 2, 4, 3.
I'm not gonna do that yet. I'll let you know when we're done with all of them.
Yeah.
I want to let
Well, I might
them
like 2 the most,
in my
honestly. I really like
brain.
2. 2's really funny.
That's crazy. Muppet Movie's the best one.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
I
Did you
really
know you
like.
like
I
Jason Segel?
remember. Yeah, I remember really liking the Jason Segel one. So we'll check that out in 2 weeks. See how it goes.
Yeah, I'm
Um.
excited for that. And Ricky Gervais, you never
Okay.
saw.
And I know. Yeah, and I'm a fan of Ricky. You
You're
know,
one of
I've
the
seen all
biggest
his
fans of
TV
Ricky
shows
that I
and
know.
shit.
You love
Okay.
Ricky Gervais.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I don't love his stand up. So I always say that as a caveat, but I love everything else he does pretty much.
Yeah. Uh, what else do we do?
Okay.
Oh, read from the Patreon?
Nothing. Yeah, read from the Patreon. And I'll say that next week on the show, we've got coming at you Muppet Treasure Island and Muppets in Space. So stick your little bottoms right here. All right, what does the Patreon have to say?
All right, Michael Babcock says, I'm in the exact boat as Daniel for Muppets Christmas Carol. I saw it in theaters as a kid, and I don't if it's like a retro treasure. What?
I guess I don't know if it's like a. I'm not looking at it, but I'm guessing he just missed the
Retro
word. Do I
Treasure
need to read
Island?
these?
I don't think this is my fault. I do remember loving the opening song. There goes Mr. Humbug. I do like how often he says humbug. That's funny. Humbug. Says
Yeah,
it
he
all the
just
time.
missed a word. I saw it in theaters as a kid, and I don't know if it's like a retro treasure or something. I do remember loving the opening song. There goes Mr. Humbug. Yeah, yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Okay,
And then Mikey
next.
Graff says, I am here to defend A Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm not saying it's a
Mm,
5, and I like the same kind of Muppet movies that Daniel does, but out of the hundreds of times that A Christmas Carol told in cartoons, sitcoms, and movies, this is my favorite version. I really like Michael Caine as Scrooge, and I get choked up when Kermit and Piggy are in the future talking about Tiny Tim. Yeah, me too.
wow, so does Logan.
Yeah. I think a lot of people did.
Amazing.
That was a lot of people's reviews about how sad that part was.
Yeah.
And then James Davis
Um.
said Michael Caine ranking, and we already did that.
Hey, can you also read Laura's review from? I
From
don't
what?
remember what it was on. It was on. I was.
She sent a DM.
I thought it was. Oh, is that what it is? It's a
Like a really
DM.
long thing. I don't think you want me to
Oh,
read
then
that.
maybe I shouldn't read it out loud.
You
But
should
I just
reply
wanted to
to it.
thank.
I replied to it.
I want to. I wanted to thank her because what she wrote about what's going on right now politically. I mean, basically, she talked about how she feels that I must be feeling as a Jewish person, like tried to like understand it on that level. And I've honestly never read anybody like actually like trying to sort out their feelings on this, which
It was very
really
nice.
impressed me. So I wanted to, I will respond to it, but thanks a lot. That meant a lot to me this week, actually, what she
Me
wrote.
too.
So yeah,
Yeah, thanks, Laura _ 94. We really
yeah,
appreciate it.
double underscore, a healthy underscore. Um, okay, what's next? Nothing.
You tell me. What do we do next week?
Hey, patreon.com/the franchise. It's only $5 a month. Only $5 a month. The amount of content we put out, outrageous.
Truly.
We've got the Sunday Night Wars coming up.
Honestly, guys, think about this. You listen to one episode a week. We do 3 more a week. 3 more
Yeah.
whole episodes a week, basically. We do a wrestling
Yeah.
show. We do a Buffy show. Hey, I'm watching here. And that's become basically every single week. So
Yeah.
if you like 1 episode a week, imagine how much you'd like 4 episodes a week.
This week on the Sunday Night Wars, it's the 1989 Royal Rumble and WCW Chi-Town Rumble. And then Buffy, and this is a good time to start getting into Buffy's Angels because we're starting season 2 of Angel and season 5 of Buffy, both very good seasons. And then, hey, I'm watching here. We'll tell you what we've, been watching and shit.
Yeah, I'll have. Oh no, I think that ends. I was trying to guess when Big Brother Reindeer Games ends. We can talk about that.
Mm. Well, listen, man, if
'Cause
you
you'll
want to
watch
hear
it, right?
all if you want to hear all my thoughts on season 2 of HBO's The Gilded Age,
Nobody
come
wants
out
to know that.
to
The Gilded Age.
Is that not a good way to push the show?
You're the only one who watches that.
I guess. Anyway, let's come check that out. And next week we'll be back for Treasure Island, more pirates. Jesus Christ, and then the space one. Lots of Gonzo in that one. In the meantime, fucking be merry. Keep the TV fireplace going. Hey, keep your TVs hot with that fireplace, and don't open the presents yet because that's not for another few days.